Have you ever wondered why out of billions of people, nature creates such strange appearances that leave us in awe? From Souffron Ralph's freckle-covered skin resembling a galaxy to Benedict Cumberbatch's ever-changing eyes. It's not a flaw in nature, but rather proud genetic codes. Today, let's decode the mystery behind these one-of-a-kind looks. Is it evolution or a gift from the universe? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss these incredible human exploration journeys. Which beauty amazed you the most? Leave a comment below to discuss with us. Behind the thick black ink that mimics a moving skeleton lies the story of a young man who once came close to death due to a brain tumor at the age of 15. Rick Genest didn't get tattoos to look frightening. He inked his body to transform it into a living museum of mortality. Each line is a statement that death isn't something to hide, but an inevitable part of life. He courageously exposed the inner structure of the human body, breaking all the traditional beauty stereotypes. Rick is not just a model, he is a living work of art that challenges society's judgment. In his world, beauty doesn't lie in smooth skin, but in being true to oneself. He has proven that even a zombie can become the face of high-end cosmetics and grace the most prestigious fashion runways in Paris. Rick's presence is a reminder that we have the right to redefine ourselves despite the discriminatory gazes from the crowd. Beneath that rugged exterior lies a sensitive soul eager to be understood. Rick Genest may be gone, but his story remains as a lesson in acceptance. He taught us that true beauty comes from daring to face our greatest fears. The uniqueness of Zombie Boy wasn't in the tattoos, but in his journey of turning pain into art, transforming difference into an immortal legend in the hearts of the marginalized. Slick Woods doesn't possess the beauty of a typical muse with perfectly aligned teeth. Instead, the gap between her front teeth has become a symbol of flawless confidence. From being homeless, Slick rose to the global runway carrying with her a rebellious spirit and a proud sense of self. She didn't try to fix what the world deemed as flaws. She turned them into her sharpest weapons to conquer the harshest peaks of the fashion world. In an industry full of artificiality and edits, Slick Woods stands out as a breath of fresh air with her buzz cut and nonchalant attitude. She doesn't act, she simply lives. Every step she takes on the runway is a declaration that a person's worth isn't defined by who they resemble, but by how different they are. Slick has inspired millions of women to embrace their most natural features, no matter how unusual they may seem. Slick's life is proof that circumstances do not determine fate. She used her unique appearance to open a new chapter for diversity in fashion. Behind the stage lights, she is also a mother fighting illness with an incredibly optimistic spirit. Slick Woods teaches us that when you dare to be yourself in the most determined way, the world will have to stop and admire the beauty of that difference. With her prominent large ears and alien-like features, Molly Bear was teased throughout her childhood. But it was these very traits that captivated top designers with their surreal and otherworldly appeal. Molly didn't change to fit society's mold. She created a new mold for herself. She entered the fashion world as an enigmatic creature, forcing people to redefine what modern beauty standards truly are. Molly Bear doesn't possess the beauty of visual indulgence. Her face is a blend of sharpness and oddity, compelling the viewer to reflect rather than simply admire. She represents a generation of models who dare to elevate eccentricity to the level of art. Her presence on prestigious magazines is a slap in the face of outdated standards, asserting that difference is not something to fix, but the most valuable asset. Molly's story is a journey from self-doubt to ultimate pride. She proves that sometimes what you dislike most about yourself is what makes you priceless. Molly Bear is not just a model. She is a symbol of courage in living true to her biological identity. She teaches young people who feel insecure about their appearance to embrace their true selves, for their uniqueness is the brightest light of all. Born with rare physical conditions, completely devoid of hair, nails, and sweat glands, Michael Berryman faced the world's uneasy gazes from childhood. His odd appearance, according to societal biases, could have been a sentence imprisoning his soul in shame. However, Michael didn't choose to run away. He stood tall, using those rugged, peculiar features to reflect a truth. The outer form is just a shell, and biological differences have never been a barrier to a great character. Instead of resenting his fate, he stepped into cinema and transformed his physical differences into sharp weapons for iconic roles. Behind the monster makeup or rugged characters lies a pair of eyes filled with kindness and masterful expressiveness. Michael proved that when we accept and love the flaws within ourselves, the world will look up to them as priceless assets. He doesn't play monsters. He uses art to humanize the forgotten forms, transforming fear into profound understanding. Michael Berryman's story is a song of resilience, reminding us that human worth is not found in the perfection of skin or hair. He lives a vibrant life full of compassion, becoming a symbol of kindness behind a different exterior. Never let physical imperfections define the limits of your soul. True beauty is when you dare to stand in the crowd, smile at your differences, and use them to warm others' hearts with sincerity. Do you believe that difference is a gift? Leave a heart in the comments and subscribe to support the next inspiring journeys. Benedict Cumberbatch possesses an unusual, elongated facial structure and eyes with heterochromia capable of changing color from blue to green depending on the light. In an industry that often favors heartthrob faces, his appearance was initially seen as a challenge to mainstream tastes. However, it is this sharp, cold, yet deeply captivating look that has created an almost magnetic allure, drawing audiences in as if every feature on his face is telling a story of intellect and mystery. He doesn't conquer the world with conventional beauty, but with his magical ability to blend his unique appearance into brilliant characters. From Sherlock Holmes to Doctor Strange, Benedict has proven that the greatest allure of a man lies in his intellect and the charisma that radiates from within. His color-changing eyes are not just a biological trait. They symbolize the multifaceted nature of the artist's soul, where light and shadow, reason and emotion are intertwined, creating an irreplaceable being. Benedict is proof that when talent is great enough, differences in appearance become a new standard of beauty. He inspires us to appreciate the unique one-of-a-kind features on our faces. Don't try to mold yourself to fit society's mold. Let your uniqueness shine through passion and persistent effort. The most radiant beauty doesn't lie in perfect symmetry, but in how confidently you own the distinctive traits that nature has gifted you. With sharp cheekbones like razors and deep blue eyes like an endless abyss, Cillian Murphy carries a beauty that exudes quiet authority. His appearance is not loud, yet it has the power to pierce through every mask worn by others. Cillian is often described as having a cold or aloof demeanor, but in reality it reflects the intense focus of a soul constantly in search of truth. He doesn't use his looks to polish his fame. Instead, he uses them as the raw material to sculpt characters with complex, tortured, and deeply human inner lives. His artistic journey is a rejection of glamour in exchange for authenticity. Cillian lives a reclusive life, staying away from the superficial spotlight, maintaining purity so that his eyes always carry the fire of his craft. He teaches us that true allure doesn't come from trying to draw attention, but from stillness and the depth of thought. Every time he appears on screen, those blue eyes act like a mirror reflecting the hidden corners of humanity, forcing the audience to face themselves with their deepest pains and desires. Cillian Murphy is a symbol of humility and inner strength. He proves that you can conquer the world without compromising with the noise around you. The message he conveys is, keep a deep soul and eyes that observe, and your beauty will naturally radiate without needing any spoken words. Cillian's difference doesn't lie in the structure of his face, but in how he uses that appearance to serve higher spiritual values, turning beauty into a profound spiritual experience. In a world where women are often obsessed with plucking and sculpting every eyebrow hair to achieve conventional beauty, Sofia Hadjipantelli stands as a rebel with her bold, thick unibrow. She didn't just retain a feature deemed unattractive, but she dyed it black to accentuate its presence. At first, Sofia faced a wave of criticism and harsh mockery on social media, but she chose to stand firm, turning her unibrow into a symbol of defiance against harmful beauty standards. Sofia's determination transformed a controversial physical feature into a movement called #Unibrow movement, inspiring millions around the world. She proves that beauty isn't something others define or bestow upon you, but a fierce self-acceptance. As she strides down prestigious runways, her unibrow is no longer a flaw. It becomes a crown of confidence. Sofia used her own face to teach the fashion industry a valuable lesson in diversity and self-respect. The human message that Sofia sends is the right to be yourself without apologizing to anyone. She reminds us that every hair, every scar, and every strange feature on our bodies is part of our life story. Don't let the fear of judgment stop you from loving yourself. When you dare to embrace the most different parts of yourself, you not only become more beautiful, but you also free your soul and ignite the spark in others to do the same. Kelly Mittendorf carries a face that challenges every traditional definition of softness: sharp, slanted eyes, a wide mouth, and a cheekbone structure so strong it's almost extreme. In the world of high fashion, she is known as an icon of ugly pretty beauty, a concept that celebrates unusual features, even those that may not be immediately attractive at first glance. Kelly doesn't possess beauty that prompts people to say, cute. She possesses beauty that makes them astonished and forces them to reflect on the delicate boundary between ugliness and beauty in art. Instead of trying to conceal her sharp features with makeup, Kelly and top photographers have embraced them to create powerful and haunting frames. She transforms her face into a contemporary painting where every angle tells a story of disruption and uniqueness. Kelly has proven that in the world of creativity, perfection often breeds boredom. It's the deviations from the norm that give life its enduring energy. She is not just a model, she is a statement that difference is the pinnacle of sophistication. Kelly Mittendorf's story is a sweet reassurance for those who have ever felt they didn't fit society's standards of beauty. She teaches us to view beauty through the lens of personality rather than symmetry. The human value she brings is the freedom in aesthetic thinking. Be proud of what makes you different, because that is the unique mark that no editing technology can ever replace. The most beautiful thing isn't when you resemble someone else, but when you are the most unique version of yourself. Have you ever felt insecure about a flaw on your body? Share your story in the comments. Who knows, that very difference could be the unique beauty that makes you stand out. Björk is not just a musical artist. She is a living, evolving art entity with an ethereal, almost mystical beauty. With her characteristic Icelandic slanted eyes and a fashion style that always pushes the boundaries of imagination, she appears as if she's from another planet or from ancient fairy tales. Björk never accepts the conventional. She uses her appearance to express philosophical ideas about nature, technology, and the connection between humanity and the vast universe. Every time she appears, Björk brings a new look, sometimes a vibrant flower, other times a bizarre sea creature, or even an abstract digital structure. She has turned her body and face into a laboratory of creativity, proving that humans have an endless capacity to evolve visually if we dare to free our souls from the constraints of reality. Her innate talent and unique vision have blurred the lines between music, fashion, and visual art, making her an eternal symbol of innovation. Björk's legacy is a lesson in courage when confronting the new and the strange. She teaches us not to fear being labeled as crazy or eccentric, for these are often signs of a mind ahead of its time. Through her image, Björk reminds us that each individual is a small universe full of potential, and exploring the strange facets of ourselves is how we honor the wonder of life. Keep dreaming, keep evolving, and never let the flame of creativity within you be extinguished by petty prejudices. I was not born to fit into a predefined box. This is the silent yet powerful declaration from Hannah Gabi Odiele, the first openly intersex model to reveal her identity to the world. With a high angular bone structure and a gender-neutral rebellious fashion style, Hannah doesn't just showcase clothing, she showcases freedom. She appears as a reminder that the human body is a vibrant spectrum, not necessarily defined by a rigid divide between the extremes of black and white, male and female. By courageously sharing her personal story, Hana has transformed the catwalk into a powerful human rights platform. She broke the silence surrounding the intersex community for decades, using her fame to protect children from coercive corrective surgeries. The difference in body structure, once seen as a secret to hide, has through Hana become a symbol of pride. She proves that true beauty comes from being honest with the very things nature has gifted us. The legacy of Hanagabi Odiela isn't in the priceless collections, but in her understanding and compassion. She teaches us that every individual has the right to own and take pride in their body, no matter how different it may be from the majority. The human message she leaves behind is: perfection is an illusion, but authenticity is the ultimate strength. Be brave enough to step into the light with all that you are, because your original presence is the greatest revolution this world could ever witness. Grace Jones is not just a model or singer. She is a living monument to power and dominance. With her striking height, angular sculpted features, and challenging androgynous style, she shattered all stereotypes of the weakness of Black women. Grace appears like a warrior from the future where the boundaries between masculinity and femininity merge to create an infinitely powerful entity. She doesn't need anyone's permission to be great. She creates her own throne. Throughout her career, Grace Jones turned her appearance into a sharp political and artistic tool. She challenged the public's visual perception with her edgy looks and unconventional structured outfits, forcing the world to recognize that beauty can take the form of threat and authority. Grace paved the way for countless artists of the generations that followed, teaching them how to command space and assert their identity in the most daring way. She is a testament to the idea that appearance is not a barrier, but a launch pad to immortality in art. The value that Grace Jones leaves behind is the absolute confidence in one's true self. She reminds the world, never shrink to fit someone else's gaze. Be sharp, be strong, and be the oddity if it brings you freedom. Grace lived a life without compromise, teaching us that the pinnacle of beauty is the total mastery of our fate and our form. If you're also choosing to live boldly and fearlessly like that, hit like, subscribe, and leave a statement of your individuality below. Together, we'll create a community of free souls. I don't know where I'm going, but I promise it won't be boring. David Bowie lived exactly as he spoke, turning his life into an endless journey through various personas. With his mesmerizing two-toned eyes and limitless ability to transform his appearance, he never accepted remaining static in a fixed form. From Ziggy Stardust to Thin White Duke, each of Bowie's characters was a declaration of the infinite potential of humanity, an invitation for lost souls to bravely explore the distant planets within themselves. Bowie turned his biological difference, his permanently dilated pupils, into a mythical mark, transforming a flaw into a cosmic allure. He broke all boundaries of gender, fashion, and music, proving that creativity knows no limits. David Bowie was not just an artist. He was a symbol of empathy for the outsiders. He stood there radiant and strange to tell the world that being different is not just normal, but a marvelous privilege of life. Bowie's human legacy is the absolute freedom in defining oneself. He taught us to face change with curiosity instead of fear. Though he has left the earth to return to the stars, his spirit continues to live on in every soul, brave enough to dream and embrace difference. Bowie reminds us that life is a grand stage and you are the director of your greatest transformations. Live in such a way that every day is a colorful work of art never repeating. If you could choose the most radiant persona to live in this life, what kind of person do you long to become? Leave a comment below and share about the great transformation you're aiming for. Bowie reminds us, life is a grand stage, and you are the director. Rebellious, strange, and completely elusive, that's how Yolandi Visser enters the minds of her audience. With shaved eyebrows, intentionally jagged hair, and deep, dark eyes, she embodies the Zeph culture, a celebration of poverty, but with a wild, unique kind of luxury. Yolandi doesn't try to look beautiful in the conventional sense. Instead, she chooses to be unforgettable with her raw, instinctive strangeness, turning what society deems as trash into a captivating and haunting visual art. Yolandi's power lies in contrast, a high-pitched, childlike voice set in a rugged, gritty form. Together with the group Die Antwoord, she created a music and image empire like no other, where the rawness of South African streets was elevated into a global style. Yolandi proves that you don't need a perfect appearance or the approval of the masses to make an impact. As long as you are bold, authentic, and persistent in your identity, the world will come to you and learn to understand your language. Yolandi's message is a statement of pride for those who are small and for the values that have been forgotten. She teaches us that beauty can sprout from the harshest places, and that difference is the shield that protects your soul from bland conformity. Through her image, she encourages everyone to embrace their roots and the scars of life, for they are what create strength and a unique identity that can't be mixed with anyone else. Don't fear being called strange, fear becoming ordinary and like everyone else. Ducky Thought possesses a beauty so perfect it feels unreal, smooth, ebony skin, like polished wood, and facial features so precise they seem carved from a block of precious black marble. Once ridiculed for being too different when starting her career, she overcame the shadows of discrimination to become a real-life Barbie. Ducky is not just a model. She is a symbol of the rise of authentic African beauty, a presence full of pride that challenges outdated standards of skin and ethnicity. Ducky's journey is a relentless battle to reclaim justice for diversity in the fashion industry. She turned past insults into motivation, shining brightly on the most prestigious runways in the world. Her perfection doesn't come from artificial intervention, but from honoring the most natural values of her heritage. Ducky has proven that every skin tone, every facial structure carries its own powerful historical story, and no single standard can monopolize the concept of beauty. Ducky Thought conveys a profound human message of self-esteem and perseverance. She is an inspiration for millions of young girls of color around the world, helping them believe they deserve to be cherished and to shine in the most dazzling way. She teaches us that when you embrace both the darkness and light on your skin, you become an irreplaceable masterpiece. Ducky is not just a beautiful face. She is a flame that ignites faith in equality and the power of ethnic pride in the modern world. Suffren Ralph is not just a model. He is a living masterpiece intricately sculpted by nature. The layers of freckles that cover his face and body are not flaws to be hidden, but a magnificent map of uniqueness, leading the way into a world of pride in difference. Ralph bravely stepped out of the shadows of childhood ridicule to transform his skin into a distinct artistic language, conquering the most prestigious runways on the planet. His journey is a song of self-esteem and reconciliation with oneself. Ralph proves that true beauty doesn't lie in cookie-cutter perfection, but in how we embrace the unique marks of nature. He reminds the world that each of us carries a universe within, and that difference is the priceless gift that allows us to shine in a sea of sameness. Difference is the ultimate power. Never try to shape yourself to fit a narrow mold, because it's the cracks or unique features that allow your personality's light to shine the brightest. Thank you for joining us in this inspiring episode. If you found the video meaningful, give us a like and share to spread the positive energy. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next extraordinary stories. What's the most unique feature of yourself that you love? Be proud and share it in the comments.